chosen one. Heaven has paused for you. The entire rhythm of eternity holds its breath. For this moment was written long before you took your first. Time bends around you not to punish, but to awaken. You have scrolled through endless noise. But this, right here, is the moment heaven marked. This is not coincidence. This is divine intervention. Listen carefully. The Spirit of God has pressed pause on everything around you because your name has been whispered in the courts of heaven. Angels have gathered, not for judgment, but for remembrance, your remembrance. You were never meant to fade into the background of this world. You were never created for the ordinary. You have always been set apart. Even when you didn't understand why rejection followed you, why peace often felt distant, and why your spirit never truly fit anywhere. The truth is, you were chosen before time. Every storm you've endured, every betrayal that cut deep, it was not random suffering. It was refinement. The fire did not come to destroy you, but to separate gold from dust. Heaven saw how you survived, what was meant to end you. You did not die in that heartbreak, and that alone is proof. God still has a purpose so fierce that even hell trembles when your name is mentioned. And now, heaven calls your attention. Do not scroll past this moment. Do not silence this tug in your spirit. The same God who parted seas and raised the dead is whispering, listen. He is not asking for your perfection. He is asking for your attention. You have delayed long enough. You have wondered long enough. You have allowed fear to silence your divine assignment. But the time for hesitation is over. Beloved, do you feel that stirring in your chest right now? That's not emotion, it's recognition. Your spirit remembers who you are. Before the pain, before the doubt, before the fear, you were chosen. You were marked with heaven's fingerprint, and no amount of failure or delay can erase that. The enemy has tried to distract you with noise, convincing you that you missed your chance, that God has moved on. But hear me, heaven does not move on from what it has anointed. You are not abandoned. You are being aligned. You are not behind. You are being refined. The silence was not rejection. It was strategy. God was teaching you to hear His whisper even in chaos, so that when His voice finally thundered, you would recognize it instantly. And that moment, chosen one, is now. As Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden." Let those words sink deep into your spirit. You are light not because of what you've done, but because of what was breathed into you. You shine because darkness cannot own what heaven has illuminated. The world tried to dim you, to make you doubt your worth, to bury you under comparison and failure. But God says, "Rise. The city that I built within you cannot be hidden anymore. Your time of hiding is over." This is your divine wake-up call. God is speaking right now, not through coincidence, not through chaos, but through conviction. Every delay you felt was heaven protecting what it was preparing. You thought you were forgotten, but in truth, God was hiding you for the unveiling that begins tonight. So, chosen one, hear me clearly. Don't ignore Him. Don't anger heaven by turning away again. The moment you ignore conviction, mercy begins to step back. Don't let that happen. Respond. Now, lift your eyes, open your heart, and say, I hear you, Lord. For once you acknowledge him, grace rushes in like a flood, washing away fear, failure, and regret. If you are still here, if your heart is pounding, it's because the Spirit is drawing you home. You have work to do, souls to reach, chains to break, prayers to fulfill. You are not too late. You are right on time. But heaven will not wait forever. This is your call to surrender. This is your time to rise. So, right now, before you scroll, before distraction steals this holy moment, pause and acknowledge it. Comment below the prophetic number 777 as a sign that you hear heaven's call and choose alignment. Then like, share, and subscribe, so this message reaches others who are wandering in the same silence you've just broken. The pause ends when you respond. Heaven has waited long enough. Your obedience is the key that unfreezes time. Step into your calling. For God has spoken, and he is watching to see what you do next. The whisper in the chaos begins softly, almost imperceptible at first. It slips between the noise of your day, weaving through the static of your worries, carrying a tone that your soul instantly recognizes. It is not the thunder of command, but the tender call of remembrance. You have been surrounded by voices, expectations, doubts, fears, but this voice, this sacred sound, it cuts through everything that has tried to drown you. You pause, not because you plan to, but because something inside you stirs. The world has been loud for so long that silence feels foreign. Yet in this stillness, heaven speaks clearer than ever. The whisper does not compete. It simply exists, steady, sure, patient. It has waited for this moment, for the noise to wear you out, for the chaos to lose its hold, so you would finally listen. You've heard this whisper before. Though you may not have recognized it, it spoke when tears fell at midnight, when your heart asked if God still saw you. It whispered when doors closed, when people left, when dreams crumbled. You mistook it for your own thoughts. But that was the language of the Spirit, gently pulling you back to your Maker. Each flicker of conviction was heaven trying to remind you, I am still here. In the storm. It's hard to discern the divine. Pain can distort perception. Fear can blur faith. Yet, the whisper persists. It does not demand, it invites, it doesn't shout. Obey, it whispers. Return. The sound is small enough to be ignored, but powerful enough to change everything if you let it in. You wonder why God would whisper when he could roar. Why would he choose such gentleness in a world that only listens to volume? Because love doesn't force, it woos. The Almighty does not compete for attention. He creates space for revelation. His whisper proves that intimacy is his goal, not intimidation. He doesn't need to prove his power to you. He wants to show his heart. The longer you listen, the clearer it becomes. It isn't merely sound, it's substance. Each syllable carries healing. Each pause carries peace. The whisper reminds you that divine communication is not always dramatic. Sometimes it's the feeling that stops you mid-sentence. Sometimes it's the dream you can't forget. Sometimes it's the moment when conviction floods you and tears start to fall without explanation. Heaven doesn't speak to entertain. Heaven speaks to transform. And when the whisper comes, it asks one thing: Will you still yourself long enough to hear? Because revelation rarely comes to the restless. The enemy thrives in noise, but God reigns in stillness. That's why chaos is constant, to keep you from the calm where His voice dwells. The whisper is the doorway to discernment. It trains your heart to distinguish truth from distraction. As the prophet Elijah learned, God was not in the wind, not in the earthquake, not in the fire, but in the still, small voice. That same voice is calling you now, not to condemn, but to confirm that you have not wandered beyond reach. You are being summoned closer, invited to lean in until the whisper becomes your guide. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 21. Whether you turn to the right or left, you will hear a voice saying, "This is the way, walk in it." Those words are not distant history, they are alive, vibrating through your present moment. That voice behind you is the same one that hovered over the waters in creation. It is the same voice that spoke life into dust and called prophets out of hiding. And now, that same eternal voice is speaking direction over you. You may feel lost, but heaven's navigation never fails. The whisper is not confusing, it is corrective. It does not accuse you of wandering, it shows you the way back home. So, breathe. Let the noise fade. Every unanswered question, every anxious thought, every internal storm, it all begins to bow before the whisper. You don't need to shout to be heard by God. You only need to be still. The whisper is proof that He has drawn near. When you finally allow that whisper to anchor you, chaos loses its authority. The same storm that once deafened you now becomes the background music to your transformation. What once terrified you now testifies of God's control. You begin to walk, not by impulse, but by instruction. You move, not by panic, but by purpose. The whisper becomes the rhythm of your steps. And suddenly, peace is no longer fleeting, it's foundational. You are not lost in the noise anymore. You are being led by the whisper that never stopped speaking. Heaven is not silent. You were just learning how to hear. The heavy crown you carry has never truly left your head. Even when the world tried to convince you that you were unworthy of it, you have felt its weight in sleepless nights, in unanswered prayers, in the ache that never quite fades. You wondered if you were being punished, but heaven whispers the truth. You were being prepared. The crown you carry is not made of gold, it is forged from endurance, shaped by tears, and polished by pain. Chosen one. You have been misunderstood, not because you were wrong, but because you were early. People could not comprehend the fire within you because they were not meant to. You were walking paths designed for the anointed, not the accepted. The rejection you faced was protection from the ordinary. God has been training you in silence, refining you in loneliness, and strengthening you in unseen places. You carry scars that speak of battles no one applauded you for winning. You have survived seasons that others would not have endured. You have walked through shadows with nothing but faith, and yet you still stand. That is not weakness, that is evidence. You are evidence that God still works through the broken, that He still breathes through those the world overlooks. Do you remember the times when you thought you had lost everything, when the people you trusted most turned their backs, when even your prayers seemed to echo into emptiness? Every one of those moments was a hammer, striking metal, forming your spiritual crown. God was teaching you to reign long before you realized you were royalty. He was molding humility into strength and turning despair into discernment. The weight you feel is not punishment, it's purpose pressing down. That crown is not heavy because it's meant to hurt. It's heavy because it's holy. The anointing you carry cannot rest lightly, for it bears the authority of heaven. The pain you have known is proportionate to the power you are called to release. To be chosen is to be burdened for a season so that you can bear glory in the next. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 12, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." 1. These words are not poetry, they are prophecy. The crown of life is not just for eternity, it's for now. It represents endurance, rewarded, obedience crowned, and suffering redeemed. Every trial has added a gem to your crown. Every tear has polished it. Every betrayal has tightened its fit upon your spirit. What was meant to crush you only proved you were unbreakable. Still, you must not despise the weight. Many crave the crown, but flee from its cost. You cannot walk in royal authority if you still resent the training ground. Kings are not made on thrones, they are made in wildernesses. Queens are not shaped in palaces, they are shaped in pain. God hid you there because he could trust you not to quit. So, lift your head, even if it shakes. You are not collapsing under the weight, you are adjusting to it. What feels like pressure is simply heaven ensuring the crown sits right. You are stepping into the realization that glory and gravity coexist. The higher the call, the heavier the grace. The world will not understand the glow that comes after your breaking, but heaven will. Now, take this moment and declare that you recognize your assignment. In the comments, type, "I wear it." Type it as a prophetic act, not for others to see, but for your own spirit to acknowledge. You are not ashamed of the crown anymore. You are not afraid of its cost. Every trial, every lonely night, every unanswered question, it all culminated in this truth: you are chosen, and your crown is proof. I wear it means you accept the calling with maturity. It means you understand that destiny isn't comfortable, but it's sacred. It means you stop apologizing for surviving what others didn't. It means you walk into rooms with quiet authority, knowing you are not defined by approval, but by assignment. The crown is not decoration, it's declaration. It announces to both heaven and hell that you know who you are now. You will not trade it for comfort. You will not remove it for acceptance. You will not hide it for fear of judgment. You will wear it because God himself placed it upon your spirit. And the one who crowned you will sustain you until the end. So, straighten your shoulders, lift your gaze, and remember this: every ounce of pressure has purpose. Every scar shines beneath the light of glory. You are royal blood wrapped in human skin. Walk like it, live like it, and never forget the weight you feel is the proof that you are meant to carry something eternal. The silence you've been living in has not been empty, it has been sacred. God's warning in the waiting is never delivered through noise, but through stillness. You have mistaken his quiet for absence. But heaven has been whispering strategy while you thought you were abandoned. This pause, this delay, this space between your prayers and his answers, it is not a void, it is a classroom. You see, silence is not God's withdrawal, it is his preparation. When he hides his voice, He heightens your sensitivity. When he holds his response, he tests your trust. Many run from the silence because it feels like rejection. But those who are chosen learn to lean into it, to find revelation in what isn't said. The waiting room of heaven is where faith either matures or breaks. And you, chosen one, are being refined in that fire of patience. You asked for open doors, but God first had to close the noisy ones. You prayed for clarity, but he had to remove the counterfeit voices before you could hear him clearly. The waiting has stripped away illusions. It has left you raw, quiet, almost still. But this is exactly where heaven wanted you. Because when everything around you stops moving, God starts rebuilding. In the waiting, idols fall, pride breaks, false motives are exposed. You begin to realize that the blessing without the lesson would have destroyed you. The silence was not punishment, it was protection. You thought he had forgotten you, but he was working behind the veil. The delay was not denial, it was divine pacing, aligning your spirit with the rhythm of his plan. It is in these quiet seasons that faith becomes real. Anyone can believe when miracles are visible, but true faith is born when heaven seems silent. And yet you stay. It's when prayers echo unanswered, but your heart keeps beating. I still believe. Every time you refused to quit, every time you worshipped through confusion, you were building spiritual muscle. Heaven applauded those unseen moments. The silence wasn't God ignoring you, it was God trusting you. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 27, verse 14, "Wait for the Lord, be strong, and take heart, and wait for the Lord." Len, these ancient words are not a suggestion, they are a survival code. David wrote them not from comfort, but from caves. He knew what it meant to wait for a promise while surrounded by uncertainty. He waited while hunted, misunderstood, and doubted. Yet, even there, he discovered that waiting is not passive, it is warfare. Waiting refines your hearing. It teaches you to discern what is truly from God and what merely mimics him. Beloved, if you are in that season now where prayers seem unanswered, where dreams feel delayed, don't despise it. Heaven does not rush what it intends to last. The blessing you are asking for is too heavy to rest on an unstable foundation. So God waits until you are strong enough to carry it. The waiting is proof that he has not abandoned you. He is ensuring that what he gives will not destroy you. You have asked, "Why so long, Lord?" But consider this: if God had answered too soon, you might have worshipped the gift instead of the giver. He needed to empty your hands of every false thing, so that when he finally fills them, they will hold only what's eternal. This silence is not the absence of movement, it is the unseen motion of divine timing. When God seems quiet, he is often closest. He is rearranging details, softening hearts, setting divine appointments. You may not see it, but you will feel it when everything suddenly aligns. One day soon, you'll look back and realize that the waiting was the miracle, that the delay was the exact ingredient needed for the promise to manifest perfectly. So hold your peace. Chosen one. The silence is not cruel, it is kind. The quiet is not punishment, it is precision. God speaks in whispers because he wants to bring you nearer. Every unanswered prayer is not a rejection, it's an invitation to trust him deeper. You are not standing still, you are being sculpted by unseen hands. The waiting season is heaven's workshop. and the tools are patience, trust, and surrender. What He builds in you here will outlast every storm to come. And when the silence finally breaks, when the promise finally speaks, you will realize it was never delay, it was design. The moment of divine confrontation always arrives quietly at first, like dawn spilling over the horizon after a night of confusion. It's not a lightning strike, it's a slow unveiling. A moment when truth stands face to face with you and refuses to be ignored. Heaven is not shouting to frighten you. Heaven is standing before you like a mirror, showing you the version of yourself you were always meant to become. You are standing at a crossroad, and this time the decision will echo far beyond today. The Spirit has brought you here because you can no longer live halfway between surrender and rebellion. You've walked long enough with divided loyalty, one foot in purpose, the other in fear. This is the moment where heaven looks into your eyes and asks, will you obey now? There are two roads before you. One feels familiar, comfortable, predictable, filled with the same patterns that have quietly drained your spirit. The other feels terrifying, narrow, steep, yet lined with light. The first asks nothing from you, but slowly costs you everything. The second demands everything but gives you eternal peace in return. You cannot travel both. You must choose. You may not realize it, but this confrontation is mercy, wearing armor. God does not expose your hesitation to humiliate you. He does it to free you. He knows that delayed obedience becomes silent rebellion, and rebellion always blinds the heart. Heaven is not angry with you. Heaven is desperate for you to wake up. The Father's voice is not shouting condemnation but calling you back from cliffs you don't even see. The truth is, you've been standing still for too long. You've been caught in spiritual traffic, moving but not progressing. And while you wait for the perfect sign, heaven is waiting for a simple yes. That's all it takes, a quiet, trembling yes. That unlocks divine acceleration. The moment you say it, mountains shift and chains begin to melt. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 2, now is the time of God's favor. Now is the day of salvation. And think of this moment like standing on a bridge above deep waters. Behind you is everything familiar, even if it hurt you. Ahead is the unknown holy, wild, but waiting. The bridge shakes with every hesitation, but the Father's hand stretches forward, saying, trust me, step. He won't push you. He's waiting for your willingness, because love never forces, it invites. And when you take that step, when you say yes, even without knowing all the answers, you will feel something shift inside you. The heavy fog begins to lift. The whispers of shame and doubt start losing their volume. Suddenly, you realize that obedience is not loss, it's liberation. What you thought would cost you everything will actually restore everything you lost. Beloved, this is not just another message, it's a divine turning point. The war in your soul is not between good and evil, it's between fear and faith. And heaven is cheering for your faith to win. Don't let delay rob you of your destiny. Every great move of God begins with a trembling yes. Now, if this message is stirring something deep inside you, if it feels like the words are breathing directly into your heart, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. This is your bridge moment. Don't just feel it, act on it. When you finish hearing this, take a second to like and share it. Not for attention, but as a declaration that you're stepping into light. That simple act becomes symbolic. It's you saying, "I choose truth over hesitation." And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it as a sign of connection, a way of saying, "I'm staying close to the voice that leads me back to purpose." You're not just clicking a button, you're choosing to keep your spirit in alignment with messages that feed your soul instead of your fear. God often moves through the simplest acts of obedience, even a click, even a share, when done with the right heart, becomes a ripple in eternity. You never know who your obedience might reach. Someone else standing at their own crossroad might find light through your small act of courage. That's how heaven multiplies through hearts that say yes together. So stand here for a moment longer. Feel the divine tension. Let it stretch you, not break you. Look at both roads, and then choose the one paved by faith. You'll know it's right, because peace, not fear, will fill your chest. And as you walk forward, remember this: heaven has never stopped rooting for you. The confrontation is not a curse, it's a calling. The same God who calls you out of comfort will walk every step beside you. Take his hand, step across the bridge, and don't look back. The hand that reached through fire is not a story, it's your testimony. You remember the moments when everything burned, the friendships that crumbled, the dreams that collapsed, the plans that vanished into smoke. You wondered how much more you could take before the flames consumed you. But even in the heat of it all, something unseen reached through the fire, pulled you out, and called you by name, chosen one. You didn't survive because you were strong, you survived because mercy refused to let go. The enemy tried to make the fire your grave, but God turned it into your rebirth. You were refined in those flames, not destroyed by them. Every trial that tried to break you only revealed the material you were made of: faith that doesn't melt, purpose that doesn't burn, hope that doesn't fade. You didn't walk through ordinary fire, you walked through a furnace meant to erase your identity. It wasn't just pain, it was purification. While you cried out, "Lord, where are you?" He was standing beside you the entire time, unshaken by the heat that terrified you. His silence during your suffering wasn't absence, it was assurance. There are fires you were never supposed to escape by logic alone. Yet, you came through, and now, heaven wants you to understand why. You weren't being punished, you were being proven. Before the promise can be carried, the carrier must be purified. The anointing you now carry is fireproof because it was birthed in flames. You were like gold in a furnace, hidden, glowing beneath pressure. Others saw ashes, but heaven saw radiance. Every prayer uttered through tears, every scream into the night. Every moment you thought you wouldn't make it all became part of your refining. What once scorched you now shines through you. You carry light that once only flickered. The voice of God thundered in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 2. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. This is not just poetic comfort, it is divine fact. The word "when" doesn't say if you walk through fire. It says when. Fire is not optional for the chosen, it is inevitable. But the promise is that it will never consume you. God doesn't promise to keep you out of the fire, He promises to walk in it with you. Think about the moments you almost lost everything, how somehow the final blow never landed. The depression didn't win. The betrayal didn't define you. The shame didn't hold you. That's because the hand of God reached into the inferno and said, "This one is mine." You walked out smelling of smoke, but not scarred by it. You were touched by fire, but claimed by grace. Beloved, the fire had to happen so that everything temporary would burn away. The fears that controlled you, the relationships that drained you, the idols that distracted you, they could not survive the intensity of his refining. And though it hurt, you are freer now than you have ever been. The heat was not to harm you, but to harden your resolve, to make you unbreakable in purpose. Now, when you look back, don't see the flames as your enemy. See them as your escort into destiny. Without them, you would still be hiding in comfort zones. Without them, you would still be carrying things that could never enter your promised future. The fire stripped you, yes, but only to reveal the gold that was buried deep within. You are not a victim of the fire, you are a witness of survival. You are proof that divine purpose is stronger than destruction. And now, God is calling you to testify, not with words alone, but with the life you live after the flame. If your spirit feels that truth, if you know deep inside that this message is your mirror, then, right now, in the comments, type 888. Type it as a prophetic act, a symbol of new beginnings and divine renewal. The number 8 represents resurrection, the start of something beyond endings. And when you type it, let it mean this: the fire did not finish me, it refined me. Oh, you don't need to fear what's ahead anymore. You've already survived what should have destroyed you. And that means the rest of your journey will not be defined by fear, but by faith. You've proven that even in the heat, you don't melt, you transform. Lift your head. Chosen one. Look at your hands. They may still tremble, but they're holy. They've carried both pain and promise. The same hand that pulled you from the flame now places a new fire within you, not to burn you, but to ignite others. You are not just a survivor, you are a torchbearer. The world will see your glow and know God rescues, even from the heart of fire. Your hidden training grounds were never glamorous. They were lonely, silent, unseen by human eyes, yet watched closely by heaven. Every time you asked, "Why me?" the answer echoed back through eternity. Because I trust you. You didn't realize it then, but those hidden years were sacred preparation, sculpting your character for the calling that waits ahead. The wilderness doesn't announce itself as divine. It feels like exile, like punishment, like God has turned his face away. But the truth is, the wilderness is where he whispers secrets only the chosen can understand. It is where you learn to discern the difference between noise and instruction, between approval and anointing. You were not forgotten there. You were being forged. Every disappointment became part of the divine curriculum. You were not rejected. You were redirected. Every door that closed wasn't a denial. It was a test of your endurance. You cried when people walked away, not realizing that heaven was editing your story. Some could not go with you because their presence would have diluted your purpose. Others were removed because they were never assigned to your destiny. Think back to those lonely nights when your prayers seemed unanswered, when heaven felt distant. Those were the very moments your spiritual muscles were growing. You were learning to walk by faith, not by sight, to keep moving even when visibility was gone. The silence around you wasn't God's absence, it was his classroom. He was teaching you the language of trust. In hidden seasons, you learned how to build altars out of ashes. You learned to sing when you had no song left, to worship when everything felt lost. You began to realize that true strength isn't found in the spotlight, but in surrender. You stopped begging God to end the storm and started asking Him to teach you in the rain. That's when transformation began. Hiddenness is never wasted. It's the soil where destiny germinates. Before God reveals a chosen one to the world, He hides them, just like He hid Moses in the basket, Joseph in the prison, and David in the fields. Their isolation wasn't punishment, it was preservation. You too were hidden so that premature exposure wouldn't destroy what heaven was building inside you. According to what is revealed in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verse 2, remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the wilderness these 40 years, to humble and test you in order to know what was in your heart. End of these words uncover the mystery of your hidden journey. God didn't hide you to see you suffer. He hid you to see what you would do when no one was watching. Would you still pray when no one applauded? Would you still worship when no one noticed? Would you still believe when no one believed in you? Those were the exams of your wilderness. And you passed them without realizing it. You've learned to be faithful in small things. And heaven noticed. You've learned to keep your integrity even when compromise looked easier. You've learned to wait when running would have been faster. These hidden lessons will soon become your public testimony. The stage is being prepared. But God refuses to present an unfinished vessel. Every great destiny is refined in obscurity. Just as diamonds are formed under pressure, your purpose has been shaped beneath weight. You may not have seen the process, but you will soon see the result. The world will call it sudden success, but heaven will call it the unveiling. Even now, the hidden season is drawing to an end. The preparation has done its work. The habits forged in solitude will sustain you in the spotlight. The humility you learned in silence will protect you from pride when the world begins to listen. You will speak with authority because your voice has been trained in the quiet. So don't despise the hiddenness. It was your divine cocoon. Every delay was a thread spun by heaven, wrapping you in protection until your wings were ready. You have been like an arrow drawn back in tension, not to be forgotten, but to be released with greater precision. The more you were pulled backward, the farther you will now fly. When the appointed time arrives, and it will, everything you endured in secret will shine with purpose. You will realize that not one tear, not one lonely night, not one unanswered prayer was wasted. Every piece of it has built the foundation of unshakable faith that now anchors your soul. Beloved, you are emerging from your hidden training grounds. You are stepping into visibility not as who you were, but as who you have become. And when people see your strength, they won't understand the depth of what it cost you, but heaven will smile, knowing that the secret place did its holy work. Heaven's courtroom is in session. You can almost feel it, the stillness in the air, the sacred weight pressing upon your spirit. This is not imagination, it is divine reality. While you walk through your ordinary days, the unseen realms move around you. Angels gather. Records are opened. The enemy stands at a distance, whispering accusations. Yet God's mercy stands as your defense. Chosen one. This is not a trial for condemnation, but a session for confirmation. Heaven is reviewing your life, not to expose your shame, but to authenticate your purpose. You have been misunderstood, misused, even mislabeled by those who could not discern your calling. But in heaven's courtroom, truth is not decided by opinion, it is revealed by divine evidence. And the evidence in your favor is overwhelming. For every tear you've cried, a testimony has been written. For every betrayal, a new layer of wisdom has been added to your case. The enemy may speak loudly, but his words are powerless against the record of redemption written over your life. The judge knows your name, knows your story, knows the depth of your repentance and the sincerity of your heart. The sentence will not be shame, it will be release. You have carried guilt long enough. You've replayed old failures as though they defined you. But heaven's verdict has already been decided. Mercy has triumphed over judgment. The cross sealed your acquittal before your first mistake was ever made. The courtroom scene is not about proving your innocence, it's about restoring your confidence in grace. Every time the enemy points at your past, heaven points at your purpose. Every time he tries to remind God of your weakness, God reminds him of the blood that covers it. You stand not as the accused anymore, but as the redeemed. And when heaven calls your name, it will not be to condemn, it will be to commission. As was spoken in the sacred writings of the Apostle John, chapter 2, verse 1. But if anyone does sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ, the righteous one. Men, that single line silences every accusation. You have an advocate, one who never loses a case. Every time your heart trembles under the weight of regret, your advocate stands and says, "This one is mine." And in that instant, the gavel falls in your favor, not because you are perfect, but because the one representing you is flawless. In heaven's courtroom, grace doesn't overlook sin, it overrules it. Mercy doesn't pretend your failures never happened, it transforms them into testimonies. The very things that once disqualified you are now the proof that redemption is real. The judge does not see you through the lens of your mistakes, but through the righteousness of the one who died for you. Can you feel the tension in the air breaking? The accusations that used to echo in your mind, "You're not enough. You've failed too many times. You're beyond saving." Those are lies losing their legal ground. They cannot stand under the authority of grace. The evidence of your forgiveness has been signed in blood. The enemy can shout, but his voice no longer carries legal weight in heaven's court. This is why conviction feels different from condemnation. Condemnation chains you to the past. Conviction calls you forward into transformation. When the Spirit convicts, it is heaven's way of saying, "You are better than this. Rise higher." Conviction is not a curse, it is an invitation back into alignment. So, when you feel that pull in your spirit, don't resist it. That is your advocate speaking truth into your soul. He doesn't remind you of your sin to shame you. He does it to restore you. The only thing heaven asks now is your agreement. Will you accept the verdict of grace? Or will you keep retrying yourself in a court that no longer exists? Beloved, walk out of that courtroom today. Leave behind the endless rehearsing of your failures. The gavel has fallen, and the verdict is freedom. Heaven has declared you forgiven, chosen, and commissioned. What the world labeled as your downfall, heaven calls your preparation. What the enemy called the end, heaven rewrote as the beginning. Let this truth settle deep within you. Your case is closed, your record cleared, your name restored. And from this moment forward, you no longer walk as the accused, you walk as the appointed. The same courtroom that once held judgment now echoes with your destiny. Angels, Record your yes. And heaven applauds as you take your rightful place, not as the guilty, but as the redeemed warrior you were always meant to be. Don't walk away this time. You've come too far to turn back now. Every step, every scar, every sleepless night has been leading to this very moment. You've survived storms meant to sink you. Yet somehow, you're still standing. But standing isn't enough anymore. Heaven is asking you to move. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now, there's a holy urgency stirring in the air. It isn't fear, it's invitation. The Spirit of God is saying, this is your moment to respond. For too long you've delayed, promising obedience once things made sense, once the timing was right, once you felt stronger. But the truth is, obedience precedes understanding. Clarity doesn't come before movement, it follows it. How many times has the Spirit whispered, go, while your mind said, wait? How many opportunities have passed because you kept waiting for a perfect sign? Chosen one. Delay is the most subtle form of disobedience. The enemy doesn't always need to make you rebel, he just needs to make you hesitate. Every time you postpone, you dull your own discernment. Every time you silence conviction, your heart grows a little harder. But today, mercy speaks again. God hasn't withdrawn his invitation. The same grace that called you before is calling you now stronger, louder, deeper. You are not disqualified. You are being recommissioned. The Spirit says, I still want you. I still trust you. I still have need of you. And as the prophet Elijah spoke, as recorded in the first book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 21, how long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. That question still echoes across centuries. How long? How long will you live with one foot in purpose and the other in fear? How long will you love the comfort of almost obeying? Heaven is asking for your decision, not your perfection. The kingdom doesn't need the flawless, it needs the willing. When you feel that tug in your heart, that trembling sense that something eternal is calling you, don't ignore it. It's not emotion, it's instruction. The Lord is calling you to lay down your resistance and pick up your assignment. You know what he's been asking of you. You've felt it for months, maybe years. You've made excuses, telling yourself you're not ready. But the truth is, readiness isn't about resources, it's about response. Think of Jonah, who ran from the call and found himself swallowed by consequence. He didn't escape the assignment, he only delayed it. The same is true for you. What God has spoken over your life cannot be erased, only resisted. But resistance always ends in restlessness. The only peace you'll find is in surrender. You've been circling the same mountain for too long, same doubts, same cycles, same promises postponed. But this is the moment. Heaven draws a line and says, enough wandering. You are being summoned back to alignment, back to obedience, back to the reason you were born. There's a shift that happens when you finally say yes. The atmosphere around you begins to rearrange itself. Opportunities that were once closed start opening. Strength that felt lost begins to rise again. You'll feel lighter because obedience breaks the weight of hesitation. The fear of failing fades the moment you decide to move in faith. The Spirit is whispering right now, not shouting, just steady, don't walk away again. You are standing on sacred ground. This is your burning bush moment. You can either turn aside to see what God is revealing, or you can walk past it like it's nothing. But if you walk away this time, the silence that follows will be heavy. So pause. Let the Spirit speak. Feel that gentle conviction wrapping around your heart. It's not condemnation, it's invitation. The fire that once scared you is now the fire that will guide you. You don't need all the answers. You only need to decide. Heaven doesn't need your perfection, it just needs your yes. And when you feel ready, type these words below as your declaration. I choose now. Type it not for the algorithm, but for your alignment. Let those 3 words become the signature on your covenant with heaven. It's your response to years of running, your proclamation that hesitation no longer rules you. When you write it, it's as if you're signing your name into the next chapter of your destiny. I choose now means you refuse to delay the divine any longer. It means you accept that obedience won't always feel comfortable, but it will always be worth it. It means you're ready to step into what you were designed for, even trembling, even unsure, even scarred. Because faith isn't about feeling ready, it's about moving when God speaks. So don't walk away this time. The door is open, the path is clear, and the voice of heaven is calling, step forward, obey. Now, the rest will follow. The prophetic summons doesn't come as thunder, it comes as a stirring within, like wind passing through dry bones, awakening what's been dormant far too long. You feel it even now, a pulse of divine urgency, a reminder that you were not created to simply exist, but to reign. This is not about fame, not about proving yourself. It's about stepping into the reason heaven sent you here. For years, you've been surviving, breathing, but not truly living, moving, but not advancing. You've built walls around your heart, mistaking them for boundaries, when in truth, they've become barriers keeping you from your calling. But the Spirit of God whispers through those walls now, saying, enough hiding. It's time to rise. Len, you are not a background character in someone else's story. You are the protagonist in heaven's unfolding plan. The pain you endured was not wasted. It was the ink that wrote your anointing. Every failure, every rejection, every delay, it all shaped your authority. You are no longer just the wounded, you are the weapon. We are reminded through the writings of Paul in the book of Ephesians, chapter 2, verse 10. We are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us. Those words are more than encouragement, they are identity. You are not random, you are not replaceable. You are God's craftsmanship, molded by divine hands, designed with intentionality. Every detail of your life, even the painful ones, has been woven into a masterpiece of purpose. You have been crafted for this exact moment in history. The good works prepared for you are not optional. They are your divine assignment, waiting for activation. The prophetic summons is not loud, but it's relentless. It doesn't ask for perfection, it asks for presence. Heaven isn't waiting for you to be flawless, it's waiting for you to be available. You have something the world needs, even if you don't yet see its worth. The miracle of your life is not that you survived, but that you still believe, despite it all. Imagine this moment as a sunrise. The horizon blushes, the world slowly awakens, and shadows retreat. That's you, the dawn of something heaven has been preparing. Every prayer you thought went unanswered was a seed buried, waiting for this morning. And now, heaven calls you to step out of the night and walk in your purpose. When prophets were called, they often resisted. Moses said, "I can't speak." Jeremiah said, "I'm too young." Gideon said, "I'm not strong enough." But God never asked for their qualifications, only their willingness. The same is true for you. The prophetic call is not about your ability, it's about your availability. Beloved, this is your burning bush moment. You've been circling the same doubts long enough. The bush is burning before you. It's holy ground. Take off your shoes of fear, shame, and insecurity. God is saying, "I am sending you, not someone else. You are His messenger for this generation." But here's the truth. Light left alone cannot illuminate a room. It must be lifted. That's what obedience does. It lifts your light higher. So if this message speaks to you, if it feels like a spark has touched your spirit, don't let it fade into another moment of passive reflection. Let it move you. Take a step that mirrors your inner yes. Like and share this message, not as a ritual, but as a ripple. You have no idea who might need this word today. Someone you know is standing on the same edge you once stood on, waiting for a sign. Your simple act could become that sign. And if your heart feels aligned with this flow of revelation, subscribe not just to a channel, but to your calling. Let it be your way of saying, "I will keep listening. I will stay connected. I will not drift back into silence." You see, every like is not a number. It's an echo of obedience. Every share is a spark, lighting another heart. Every connection strengthens the chain of light heaven is building across this earth. You are not spreading content, you are spreading conviction. The prophetic summons doesn't end when the message stops. It begins when you act. The same Spirit that calls you also equips you. When you respond, heaven amplifies your voice beyond your reach. You become part of the divine relay, carrying light into places you may never physically walk. So, lift your eyes. Chosen one, the horizon is shifting, and the trumpet is sounding softly in your spirit. The vision that tarried is ready to speak. The words you're reading are not mine, they are heaven's invitation. Step into alignment. Move when He moves. Speak when He speaks. You've waited long enough. The prophetic summons is not tomorrow's calling, it is today's assignment. Heaven has spoken. Now, the earth waits for your answer. The trembling of the earth beneath you is not chaos, it is confirmation. Creation responds when heaven begins to move. The shaking you feel around your life is not meant to terrify you, but to testify that something divine is being rearranged. You are standing in a holy tremor, where old things are collapsing so new foundations can rise. Every chosen one reaches this moment, the threshold where the ground that once held you begins to quiver beneath your feet. It feels unstable, uncertain, even frightening. But understand this, when God is about to shift your life, He first shakes everything that is not anchored in Him. The trembling is not destruction, it is divine alignment. You may feel like everything familiar is falling apart, relationships changing, opportunities closing, comfort zones crumbling. Yet, if you look deeper, you will see heaven's fingerprints in every fracture. God shakes what can be shaken, so that only the unshakable will remain. He is not trying to ruin you. He is revealing what can stand and what cannot. There is a sacred violence in the way God rebuilds. He does not patch weak walls. He tears them down to lay eternal ones. He is not interested in cosmetic faith or shallow obedience. He is interested in roots deep enough to survive the storms that follow the shaking. That is why you have felt so unsettled. You have been asking for stability while God has been preparing strength. You've said, "Lord, why does it feel like everything is shaking?" And heaven answers, "Because I am." The tremor is not punishment, it is presence. When God steps into your story, the very ground must respond. Mountains bow, waters part, darkness trembles. The earth is simply echoing what the spirit world already knows: your breakthrough is near. As it is written in the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 26 through 27, "At that time his voice shook the earth. But now he has promised, 'Once more I will shake not only the earth, but also the heavens.'" The words "once more" indicate the removing of what can be shaken, so that what cannot be shaken may remain. These words were not written for the past. They are alive in you right now. Every shaking in your life is heaven fulfilling that promise. God is not removing things to hurt you. He is removing them to reveal you. The shaking exposes foundations, whether they were built on sand or on stone. It tests loyalties, filters motives, and clarifies vision. Beloved, this is the sound of destiny being set into motion. The trembling is proof that your next level cannot rest on your old structure. The ground is shifting because heaven refuses to let you settle where you've been. You prayed for elevation. But élévation requires excavation. The deeper, the shaking. The stronger the root that will grow. Do not fear the rumble. Fear the stillness that comes from ignoring it. Many resist the shaking, trying to hold together what God is breaking apart. But peace will only come when you stop fighting the process. Let what needs to fall. Einen Fall. Let what needs to end. End. If it could survive this shaking, it was meant to stay. If it cannot, release it with gratitude. Every tremor in your life is heaven's architecture at work. You are being rebuilt from the inside out. Your thoughts, your habits, your desires, your alliances. The shaking is God's way of resetting your alignment with His will. It may feel like loss, but in truth, it's liberation. You're not being stripped of purpose. You're being freed from distractions that no longer serve it. Think of a seed buried underground. When it begins to grow, the soil around it must shift, break, and move to make room for life. That movement feels like destruction, but it's actually creation. The same is happening in your spirit right now. The shaking is the soil of heaven, making space for your emergence. There's power in realizing that the trembling beneath you is not instability, it's preparation. God is shaking away your dependency on what's temporary so you can trust what's eternal. What remains after the quake will be pure, strong, and unmovable. Soon, you will see why this season had to come. The cracks will turn into conduits for light. The rumble that once frightened you will become rhythm proof that heaven's heartbeat and yours have synced. You will look back and say, that was the moment everything began to make sense. So stand firm. Do not confuse divine shaking with disaster. When the ground trembles, it's not announcing your collapse, it's announcing your commissioning. What's being shaken off, you cannot come where you're going. And what remains after this will never be moved again. The mark of the redeemed is not visible, Ink, it is invisible fire. It is the quiet glow within your spirit that darkness cannot counterfeit. When heaven sets its seal upon you, it doesn't just identify you, it protects, empowers, and separates you. You become one of heaven's own. A walking declaration that grace has claimed you and hell cannot touch you without permission. You may not see it when you look in the mirror, but the mark is there. It's the peace that doesn't make sense after all you've endured. It's the light in your eyes when others expected bitterness. It's the way you still choose love when the world has given you every reason to hate. That is redemption, speaking louder than pain. The mark of the redeemed doesn't erase scars. It transforms them into testimony. Your scars are no longer signs of defeat. They are signatures of survival. Each one says, I've been through the fire, and I still belong to God. You are not the same person who walked through the storm. You are the refined version heaven always intended. When God redeems someone, He doesn't just clean their past, He reclaims their identity. Redemption is not only forgiveness, it's reinstatement. It's heaven saying, you still have a seat at my table. No mistake can revoke it. No failure can cancel it. No enemy can erase it. The blood that marked you speaks louder than any accusation raised against you, as it is declared in the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 3. Do not harm the land or the sea or the trees until we put a seal on the foreheads of the servants of our God. Oh, that seal, the mark of belonging, is upon you. The same seal that spared the Israelites from destruction, the same covering that guarded the faithful through generations, rests on your life right now. You walk under divine identification. Hell knows who you are. Darkness recognizes your authority even when you don't. That's why the enemy has fought you so violently, not because you are weak, but because you are marked. You carry something eternal that threatens his hold. He's tried to distract you, discourage you, make you doubt your worth. But the seal has never faded. You cannot be unchosen. You cannot be unloved. The blood doesn't wash off. It sanctifies deeper each time you rise again. Chosen one. You need to understand the power of what you carry. You are not wandering aimlessly. You are carrying the imprint of divine ownership. When you walk into a room, atmosphere shifts. When you speak truth, the spiritual climate changes. When you pray, things move, even if you don't see them. You are not ordinary. You are consecrated. And because you are marked, heaven has invested too much in you to let you settle for less than your calling. The things that used to work against you can no longer control you. You have outgrown old patterns because the spirit within you won't let you stay in them. You belong to God now, fully, eternally. The mark is also your mission. It means you carry heaven's agenda wherever you go. You don't need to announce it. Your presence alone disturbs darkness. Your kindness confuses evil. Your perseverance inspires faith. The light you carry is not borrowed. It's built from every trial you've endured and every tear heaven collected. So when you feel overlooked, remember you were not created to blend in. You were chosen to stand out. The redeemed are rarely recognized by crowds, but always known in heaven. Your obedience, your purity, your persistence, they shine like invisible crowns before the throne. Angels know your name because you carry the seal of their king. The mark also demands responsibility. You cannot live like everyone else because you are not like everyone else. Your life is a letter written by God, meant to be read by the world. Every action, Every word, every choice becomes a reflection of the one who claimed you. And though this calling feels heavy, it is holy. It's not a burden, it's a banner. If your spirit feels that truth, if something in you knows, yes, I am one of them, then declare it now. Type 9,999 inches, the comments below. Type it as a sign that you recognize the seal upon your life. The number 9 symbolizes divine completion and fullness. It marks the end of old cycles and the birth of new purpose. When you type it, you're not just participating, you're proclaiming, I am sealed. I am set apart. I belong to God. Lam, the mark of the redeemed, is irreversible. It doesn't fade with time or falter under failure. You carry eternity in your very being. And from this moment forward, walk like one who is sealed, not in pride, but in power. You are not trying to earn heaven's favor. You already have it. The mark proves it. Stand firm. Chosen one. The seal upon you is the evidence of your destiny. Walk boldly. Shine deeply. And never forget, you are heaven's signature written on earth. The cost of your calling was never meant to be easy. To be chosen is to be carved. And every carving leaves a mark. You have discovered that divine purpose does not come wrapped in comfort. It comes clothed in crucifixion. The higher your calling, the deeper your cutting. God does not use the unbroken. He anoints through surrender. There is a loneliness that follows the chosen. It is not rejection, it is refinement. You are not being punished, you are being purified. You are learning to walk with a kind of solitude that sanctifies the soul. Many will celebrate your light, but few will understand the fire that fuels it. People see your glow, but rarely comprehend the furnace it took to make it burn. You have paid a price, invisible to most. The sleepless nights where faith was your only companion, the silent battles that no one clapped for, the moments when God stripped you of everything familiar just to show you that He was enough. That pain was not wasted, it was sacred exchange. Every tear purchased a piece of the strength you now carry. The calling always costs more than you expect. It will cost you approval, comfort, and sometimes company. You will lose people who loved your potential but couldn't handle your process. You will be misunderstood by those who once walked beside you. They will call your transformation pride, not realizing its obedience. They will see your separation as arrogance, not discernment. But still, you must obey. Chosen ones are not called to fit in, they are called to stand apart. God cannot elevate those still addicted to belonging. He cannot fill hands that refuse to release what's familiar. So He pries your fingers open, takes what you cling to, and replaces it with what will last. It hurts. Yes, but heaven always trades pain for purpose. According to what is revealed in the book of Philippians, chapter 3, verse 8, I consider everything a loss because of the surpassing worth of knowing Christ Jesus my Lord, for whose sake I have lost all things. You have learned that following God is not glamorous, it is gritty. It means carrying your cross when others drop theirs. It means standing when it would be easier to run. It means bleeding and blessing at the same time. But it is in those very moments when your hands tremble, your heart aches, and your soul questions that heaven whispers, keep going. This is the price of glory. End quote. Many want the promise, but few are willing to pay the process. Yet, you wounded, weary, still believing, have proven that you are not among the many. You are among the few who still say, yes, even when it costs you everything. That's what sets you apart. That's why God trusts you with weight others can't carry. Do you realize how rare that is? Heaven measures greatness not by gifts but by endurance. It is not how loudly you worship, but how deeply you trust when the music stops. It is not how much you proclaim faith, but how much you embody it when the night lingers. Every trial has been a transaction of trust between you and God. Each time you refused to quit, He invested more of Himself in you. The cost of your calling may have isolated you, but it also insulated you. It has guarded you from distractions, from counterfeit paths, from people who would have weakened your focus. It's painful, yes, but it's protection disguised as loss. God is not cruel, He is careful. He removes what you think you need to reveal what you actually carry. And when the loneliness comes, and it will remember this, you are never truly alone. The same hands that stripped you of comfort are the hands that cradle you in purpose. The same fire that burned away what was temporary is the fire that now glows within you. You are being refined into rarity, faith pure enough to move mountains, courage steady enough to face giants. Every great anointing carries a price tag, and you have paid yours in full. You are not the same person who began this journey. You are wiser, stronger, and holier than you know. The cost has been great, but the glory that follows will make it all worthwhile. One day soon, you will look back and thank God for every empty night, every unanswered prayer, every season of isolation. You will see that what you called loss was actually an investment. You were never losing, you were being upgraded. And when that realization dawns, you'll understand the holy paradox of the chosen. To carry heaven's call is to walk through earth's fire and still emerge with praise on your lips. When heaven tests the chosen, it is not to expose their weakness, but to reveal their strength. The test is not punishment, it is proof. Every divine assignment is authenticated through trial. Before crowns are placed, crosses are carried. Before authority is given, obedience is tested. You cannot walk in true power without first being purified by pain. The test of heaven often arrives quietly. It does not announce itself with lightning or thunder. It comes disguised as delay, as disappointment, as silence. You pray, but heaven doesn't respond the way you expected. You step out in faith, and the ground gives way beneath you. You wonder if you misheard God, if perhaps you are no longer favored. But that confusion is part of the refining. God hides Himself not to abandon you, but to test whether you will still seek Him when you can't trace Him. Every chosen one must endure this wilderness of faith, the space between the promise and the proof. It is there that motives are purified and endurance is forged. It is there that the noise of the world fades until only one voice remains, the voice that said, "Follow me." Heaven tests to see if you love the calling more than the comfort, the giver more than the gift. The test never feels fair. It strips away illusion, revealing whether your devotion is built on blessings or on belief. When the applause stops, when the miracles delay, when the crowd disperses, will you still stay? Will you still trust when the outcome seems opposite of the promise? Those are the moments that heaven watches most closely. As it is written in the book of Job, chapter 23, verse 10, "But He knows the way that I take. When He has tested me, I will come forth as gold." And the test of heaven is often misunderstood. People think God tests to find out who you are, but He already knows. The test is so you can know who you are, what's been buried in you all along. You don't discover strength in safety, you find it in shaking. You don't learn faith when the seas are calm, you learn it when the waves rise higher than your hope. The moments that felt like the end were never endings, they were examinations. Every time you felt unseen, heaven was observing. Every time you thought God had gone silent, He was grading your trust. The delay was not neglect, it was necessary. For every destiny must pass through difficulty to become durable. The test also exposes what cannot continue with you. It sifts companions, ideas, even inner patterns. Some people you loved could not survive your test because their loyalty was conditional. God allowed their exit not as cruelty but as clarity. He wanted you to know who truly walks with you because of calling, not convenience. And as painful as it was, you learned something precious. Not everyone who starts with you is meant to finish with you. Tests refine relationships just as they refine faith. They separate the temporary from the timeless. There's something sacred about surviving a divine test. It changes the way you walk. You become quieter, wiser, more discerning. You stop seeking validation from those who don't understand the cost of your obedience. You begin to see trials not as punishments but as promotions in disguise. Every test that seemed to break you was actually qualifying you. Even the silence was holy. It taught you to listen, not for answers, but for alignment. You began to realize that maturity in God isn't measured by how many prayers He answers, but by how much peace you have when He doesn't. Faith matured in the fire cannot be shaken by circumstance. And now, the test is nearing completion. The same God who watched you endure will soon vindicate you. The fire that surrounded you will become the light that reveals you. Those who doubted your endurance will witness your emergence. But you won't boast, you'll simply bow. Knowing the gold within you was not self-made, it was divinely refined. So if you find yourself in the middle of another test, don't panic. Heaven never wastes pain. Every tear is a tool, every silence a shaping, every delay a design. When heaven tests you, it's because heaven trusts you. And when you finally step out of the fire, you will not only shine, you will illuminate others who are still walking through their own. The test is temporary, but the transformation is eternal. You are not failing, you are forming. You are becoming what heaven saw when it first called your name. And when this test is done, you will carry something the untested never will, authority that was proven in the fire. Your crown awaits obedience. It's not waiting at the end of your journey, it's waiting at the moment you finally surrender. The crown does not descend when you are perfect, it descends when you are willing. You fought long enough to control what was only meant to be released. God is not asking for your performance, He's asking for your permission to lead. The greatest wars are not fought on battlefields but in hearts. The battle between your will and His word has been raging quietly within you. You've wrestled with the tension of trust, wanting God's promise, but fearing His process. But the truth remains. You cannot wear the crown without first kneeling before the King. Surrender is not weakness, it's alignment. It is the act of placing your future back into the hands that shaped it. You are closer to breakthrough than you realize. Every delay, every frustration, every closed door has been heaven's gentle pressure guiding you towards surrender. God has been waiting, not for the perfect prayer, but for the honest one. The moment you stop striving and start yielding, something shifts. The air changes. The atmosphere obeys, as it is written in the book of James, chapter 4, verse 10. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up. Think of obedience like the wind filling a sail. The boat may be built strong, the crew prepared, the destination known, but without surrendering to the wind, it will never move. You are the vessel, God is the wind. Your job is not to direct it, but to yield to it. And when you finally do, you'll find that what felt like waiting was actually preparation for divine momentum. There is beauty in obedience because it always unlocks hidden strength. You think you're giving something up, but you're actually making space for something greater. When Abraham laid Isaac on the altar, he wasn't losing a son, he was proving his trust and gaining a nation in return. The same will be true for you. What you release in obedience will return multiplied in glory. Obedience feels costly because it is sacred. It will ask for the things you hold, dearest: your timing, your pride, your idea of control. But every time you say yes to God, the heavens record it as worship. Every act of obedience becomes a stone in the foundation of your destiny. And when those stones come together, they form the crown meant for your head. Beloved, this message isn't about religion, it's about relationship. It's about trust between a creator who knows what's ahead and a child learning to believe that his plans are truly good. You are not too late. You have not missed your chance. Your crown is not gone, it's simply waiting for the weight of your surrender. If this word is stirring something deep within you, pause for a moment. Let it settle. Feel it not as pressure, but as peace. Then, if your heart agrees, let your obedience take form. Like and share this message, not for me, but for what it might awaken in someone else. You have no idea how your simple act of faith might become another person's confirmation. When you share light, you multiply it. When you engage, you extend the echo of heaven's voice. There may be someone right now scrolling through darkness, needing only one reminder that God hasn't forgotten them. Your obedience, even in a simple click, could be the very act that reaches them. And if this space has become a voice that keeps your spirit steady in uncertain seasons, subscribe, stay close. Keep walking with messages that stir conviction, comfort, and courage. Every time you return here, it's not to listen, it's to remember who you are. In the end, obedience is not about rules, it's about rhythm. The rhythm between your heartbeat and heaven's will. And when the two finally move in sync, life begins to sound like music again. You'll walk lighter, speak freer, love deeper. You'll look back and realize that every surrender was a step toward the throne prepared for you. Your crown isn't lost, it's alive. It waits for you to lift your hands, whisper, yes, and finally stop running from the one who called you. Heaven does not rush this moment, it reveres it. For when a chosen one bows, creation itself holds its breath. So breathe. Chosen one, lay it down. The crown you've longed for is not in chasing, but in yielding. And when you finally surrender, you'll feel the weight of it settle upon you, not as burden, but as belonging. Now, if your heart hears this truth, write in the comments below, I will obey. I'll write it not as repetition, but as revelation. Let those 3 words become your vow, your release, your return. For when obedience begins, glory follows. The fire that seals your covenant does not come to destroy it, comes to define. Every chosen one must face this fire. The moment when heaven descends not as comfort, but as consuming flame. It's not the fire of wrath, but of refinement. It burns away imitation, fear, and pride, until only what is pure remains. You cannot carry divine power without passing through divine purification. This fire doesn't always look like tragedy or trial. Sometimes it's revelation. Sometimes it's the piercing light of truth that forces you to see yourself as you really are. It exposes not to shame, but to shape. God's fire does not humiliate, it heals. It removes everything that contaminates your calling, everything that could weaken your witness. The fire of covenant is sacred. It is the same fire that descended on Sinai when God gave his law, the same fire that lit Elijah's altar when heaven answered by flame, the same fire that filled the upper room and rested upon the disciples. It has always been the mark of divine approval and empowerment, as it is written in the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 3. He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. He will purify the Levites and refine them like gold and silver. The covenant fire always reveals who you are becoming. It exposes false loyalties and shallow faith, burning away every almost in your obedience. The heat intensifies not to harm, but to harden your resolve, to turn conviction into consistency. You cannot fake endurance in the flame. It proves what's real. Many try to escape the fire too soon, begging God to end what was meant to transform. But those who remain, those who stay, even when it hurts, emerge radiant. They come out carrying a purity of purpose that nothing else can produce. Their prayers carry more weight. Their words cut deeper. Their peace cannot be stolen. The flame that tried to consume them ends up crowning them. This fire also seals your covenant. It's heaven's way of saying, I trust you with what I'm about to give. In ancient times, covenants were confirmed by flame offerings, burned. Smoke rising as a visible bond between God and man. Today, your altar is your life. Every sacrifice you've made, every obedience you've chosen, every tear you've poured out, it's all been fuel for this holy fire. It may have felt like you were losing pieces of yourself, but you were really losing impurities. God was removing what couldn't travel with you into your next chapter. The relationships that fell away, the habits that died, the doors that closed, they were all part of the refining. The fire was not rejection, it was redirection. There's a strange beauty in the covenant fire. It teaches you to trust even while it burns. It shows you that real transformation is not painless, but it is always purposeful. And when the flames subside, you will see the miracle. Nothing essential was lost. Only what was false was gone. What remains is unshakable faith and a heart sealed in divine devotion. Do you remember the 3 men in the furnace? The fire did not destroy them, it freed them. The ropes burned, but their bodies remained untouched. That is the mystery of covenant fire. It liberates as it purifies. You, too, are walking in that same miracle. The heat you feel is not judgment, it's liberation. Chains melt fester in fear, and after the refining comes the radiance. When you emerge, your presence will carry an undeniable weight of heaven. People will feel peace around you without knowing why. Environments will shift when you enter. It's not pride, it's purity. It's the residue of fire. the evidence that you've been with God. You will know when the process is complete, not by the absence of pain, but by the presence of peace. The moment you can thank God for what once hurt you. The refining has done its work. The flame has finished shaping your faith into something that glows instead of flickers. The fire that seals your covenant will never leave you empty-handed. You will come out stronger, wiser, and carrying divine authority that cannot be faked. Every ember that touched your soul was heaven, engraving your destiny deeper. You are not the same, you are refined, restored, and ready. So when you feel the heat rise again, don't run. Remember, the refiner sits close. His eyes never leave you. And when you finally step out, shining like gold, the world will see what heaven already knows. You were never burning to die. You were burning to be revealed. The final trumpet of alignment does not sound in noise, but in knowing. It is the inner stillness that comes when your spirit finally locks into rhythm with heaven's heartbeat. For years, you have been tuning your life to divine frequency, sometimes through tears, sometimes through triumph. And now, everything begins to align. You start to see how every delay, every storm, every silence was not chaos but choreography. Heaven is not random, it is orchestrated. Alignment is heaven's final act of preparation before divine release. It is the gathering of all the threads you once thought were frayed and meaningless, the disappointments you wept over, the doors that closed without warning, the detours that made no sense. All of them were threads in the same tapestry. You just couldn't see the picture yet. Now the trumpet sounds, and the pattern comes into view. Alignment is not only about where you go, it's about who you have become. It means that your will has finally bowed to His. Your desires have finally surrendered to design. You no longer chase what is not yours, and you no longer resist what is. The fight between fear and faith has quieted into peace. That is the sound of alignment, the silence after surrender. As the ancient words recorded in Romans chapter 8, verse 28 declare, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." End of. You have felt the weight of preparation for so long, wondering if the promise would ever take shape. But heaven's timing is never early, because God is never unready. The seasons of silence, the cycles of testing, the moments of surrender, they were all rehearsals for this unveiling. You are stepping into the flow where obedience meets opportunity, where faith meets fulfillment. This final trumpet does not announce an ending, it signals a release. The sound resonates in your spirit, calling forth everything God planted within you. It's a reminder that alignment is not a posture of passivity, it's a position of power. When you are aligned, you no longer strive, you flow. The doors open because they recognize the authority of alignment. The storms calm because they submit to divine order. You've learned that alignment requires letting go. You cannot be in sync with heaven while clinging to what belongs to yesterday. The final trumpet does not just call you forward, it calls you away. Away from distractions. Away from old versions of yourself. Away from anything that no longer mirrors God's rhythm in your life. You're not losing, you're being repositioned. Alignment also brings clarity. The fog that once clouded your discernment lifts. You start to see why certain people left, why certain opportunities faded, why certain prayers took years to unfold. God was not ignoring you, He was aligning you. You were being fine-tuned like an instrument in the hands of a master musician, Every tightening, every adjustment, every silence, it was all calibration for perfect harmony. The final trumpet is also a call to rest. Not the rest of exhaustion, but the rest of completion. You are not striving anymore. You have learned to move only when He moves, to speak only when He speaks, to wait when He whispers, "Not yet." You have become a vessel of balance, anchored in peace, steady in purpose. This alignment marks the closing of one era and the beginning of another. The old self, the striving, anxious, uncertain self has faded. In its place stands someone refined, resilient, radiant. You have walked through the fire and found your footing on holy ground. You are no longer reacting to life, you are responding to God. And now, heaven releases you, not as the person who began this journey, but as the one who has been shaped by it. You are ready. You have passed through the refining fire, the wilderness of waiting, the tests of faith, and the call of surrender. Now you stand in the quiet after the trumpet, clothed in divine assurance that you are exactly where you are meant to be. The final trumpet of alignment is not the end of your story. It is the sound of destiny locking into place. Heaven has spoken, earth agrees, and your spirit stands steady between the two. You are no longer becoming, you are being. Every step forward from this moment will echo in eternity, not as striving, but as the sound of alignment fulfilled. The fire has settled, the trumpet has faded, and now you stand whole, awakened, aligned. Every word you've heard, every stirring you've felt, was heaven's hand guiding you back to remembrance. You were never forgotten, only refined. You carry the mark, the message, and the mission. This isn't the end of the journey, it's the beginning of your assignment. Beloved, if these words have reached something sacred inside you, let your response be light. Like this message as a declaration that you receive what heaven has released over you. Share it not as routine, but as revelation, because somewhere, someone still trapped in silence is waiting for a sign just like this. And in the comments, write your affirmation, "I am chosen." Let those words echo across this space, weaving faith into the hearts that will read them after you. When you declare it, heaven listens. When you write it, darkness retreats. If your spirit longs to stay near the flow of these messages, to grow, to rise, to keep walking in alignment, then subscribe, remain connected. Together, we carry light into the corners of this world that have forgotten what hope feels like. Your story isn't over. It's unfolding in glory.